Department of Botany, Government City College is collaborating with the EPTRA Environmental Protection Training and Research Institute, organizing an webinar series with under the Abhyasana series. The first step, we are going to organize with the CCE app, a special app produced by Naveen Chandra sir. There is unlimited member with unlimited time. We are especially earlier we used to keep the meeting in the Google Meet, but here registrations are more than 400. That's why we opted for this. Kindly cooperate with us. Now we are, so many international organizations are there. What are those? IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, WWF, World Wildlife Fund, and CITES, and whatever that NBPC in our India, New Delhi. Like that, so many are there, and so many NGOs also doing conservation biodiversity, educating, elaborating, enlightening about the biodiversity. That all we are going to discuss. Now, our honorable chief guest of this International Biodiversity Day webinar program, Honorable Joint Director from Commissioner of College Education, Higher Education, Hyderabad, Joint Director Professor Rajendra Singh sir, Joint Director sir, will give the brief note about this webinar. Sir, please kindly give the brief note on the Biodiversity Day, sir. Sir, please, sir. Sir, voice is not audible, sir. Voice, sir. Sir, voice is not clear, sir. Sir, your voice, sir. Voice not audible, sir. Sir. Hello, sir. Voice is not audible, sir. Please, sir. Sir. Once you please check, sir, voice. Sorry, talking.
Dr. Nagaraj.
Sir.
Dr. Nagaraj,
Sir.
ask him to disconnect his earpods.
Sir, disconnect.
Like WhatsApp లో కానీ కాల్ లో కానీ మెసేజ్ చేయండి సార్.
Yeah. I will call it now.
He is unable to listen to us, so.
Okay. Just now I'm calling, please. Sir, voice రావట్లేదు సార్. మళ్ళొకసారి అది ఆడియో దాన్ని డిస్కనెక్ట్ చేసి మళ్ళీ కనెక్ట్ చేయరా సార్? ఆడియోని క్లిక్ చేసి మళ్ళీ సార్ కింద ఆడియో ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుంది కదా సార్, దాన్ని క్లిక్ చేసి మళ్ళీ క్లిక్ చేయరా సార్? సార్. సార్. డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయింది సార్, మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చూడండి సార్. సార్ ఆడియో వినిపిస్తే చాలు సార్. ఆడియో ఓకే సార్. సార్. ఓకే సార్. వచ్చిందా సార్? రీజాయిన్ అయ్యారా సార్? సార్ మైక్రోఫోన్ ఆ మైక్రోఫోన్ క్లిక్ చేయండి సార్. అవును సార్. ఆడియో చెక్ అంటుంది. ఓకే ఓకే అనండి సార్. అది అవును సార్. సార్ అవును సార్. ఓకే సార్. హలో సార్. వినిపించట్లేదు సార్. సార్ వాయిస్ ఇస్ ఆడిబుల్ ఇన్ ద మీటింగ్? నో.
No, sir, it is not audible.
చూడండి సార్. హలో సార్. సార్ వాయిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఆడిబుల్ సార్. Hello, sir. Voice. Are you able to listen in the phone, sir? Sir. Hello, sir. Srinivasulu, sir.
Yes, you can ask him to speak on phone, and you can put your mic near phone so that everybody will listen.
Okay. Now it is audible, sir. Sir voice.
Ask him to speak.
Speaking, sir. Speaking now.
Yeah, it is very, very low volume, but you can try. You can just put it very close to your speaker.
Yeah, put it very close to speaker, sir.
Yeah. Ask him to speak. Yeah.
Sir, you can speak now, sir. Sir.
Okay, very good afternoon to all, and Prof.Ch.Srinivasulu and as well as Prof. and Dr. Nagaraju and all the participants, those who are going to be taking part in the International Biodiversity Day. Really, today is auspicious day, and congratulating the City College Department of the Head of the Department and as well as the Department of Botany for conducting of this program. Really, nowadays it is the juncture of the biodiversity. Biodiversity is one of the very important bedrock for the living organisms and as well as the nature, because we are going to be totally collapsing the nature, because using of all the natural resources without any limit. The day will come, we can say that the living organisms are going to be living on the edge. Okay, so that we have to be conscious, we have to be alert, and as well as whatever the renewable resources are there, such renewable resources are going to be utilized properly, and afforestation has to be taken place, and these global, due to the greenhouse gases nowadays, you can watch the 47-48 temperature even in Hyderabad today, because of the global warming. Okay, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, these are the pollutants are going to be damaging the nature, and as well as the overpopulation, and we are not at all going to be depending on the other, because future generations, they have to struggle a lot if we are going to be almost totally damaging the nature. So that really, and once again, I don't want to be there because I am in one meeting, okay, at NCHRT Hyderabad. Okay, I congratulate all the participants, those who are going to be participating, and organizing one conscious program regarding the biodiversity, because the biodiversity is nothing but the organisms which are going to be surrounded by us, like nature and all these things. Okay, so that with this we have to conduct such type of the programs to bring the consciousness, and as well as the future generation is very important. We have to protect for the natural resources, and as well as we have to use the renewable resources, and you have to actively participate in the afforestation program, and where you are going to be knowing the oxygen is going to be depleting and the greenhouse gases are going to be almost totally increasing day by day. If the stratosphere you are finding the ozone depletion, and not only that, the different types of the lethal rays are going to be entering into the nature. So I am once again congratulating. Thank you for involving me and as well as for taking part in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for giving your valuable time, sir. We are doing an association with EPTRA, sir. EPTRA, Department of Botany. We are doing this program, sir.
Congratulations to EPTRA.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I am welcoming the EPTRA resource person and as well as the management. Thank you. Thank you, Nagaraju.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your valuable time, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your support and valuable information, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, sir. Okay, now our Honorable JD sir given the valuable brief about this International Biodiversity Day. Now, respected Principal sir is there, sir? Please, sir. Professor sir, Principal sir. Principal sir, please, sir. Principal sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Principal, sir.
Sir, I think sir has not joined it, sir. We can proceed with the session, I believe, for now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We can. No problem. Now, madam, give any brief talk, Sunila ma'am.
No, sir. No. We can proceed with the session, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then now.
Yes, sir.
Now you can start.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am MD Sharif. I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants for today's webinar sessions on biodiversity. And now I would like to introduce our session speaker, Prof.Ch.Srinivasulu sir, Professor of Zoology at Usmania University, Hyderabad, and he heads Wildlife Biology and Taxonomy Lab. And his research interests range from taxonomy to climate change. He also serves as the director for Center for Biodiversity and Conservation Studies. He is one of the Center of Excellence established under the MHRD RUSO project. With this, I warmly welcome you to the welcome you once again to the session, sir, and you can now begin the sessions. Over to you, sir, Srinivas, sir.
Sir, please.
Thank you very much. I just wanted a heads up. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're clearly audible, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much to Dr. Nagaraju and Mohammed Sharif from EPTRI as well as the Government City College for inviting me to speak about things that I am passionate about. And I hope that Dr. Nagaraj is able to present my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Is somebody doing it?
Yes, sir. I'm doing, sir. Yes, sir. Is it okay, sir? Now, I'm sharing the presentation, sir. Please, sir. It's taking time, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I said already. It's taking time, sir. Please, sir.
Because I don't know how this particular thing works, so I'm not able to see the presentation.
Yes, sir. No, not it. Still it is there. It is taking time, sir. Sir, you can. Meanwhile, you can talk generally, sir. I will take it, sir. Okay. Now it is coming, sir.
Okay, yeah. Screen share has started. Now it says screen share has started. Okay, can you put it into the presentation mode, please?
Yeah, sir. Where the presentation mode, sir? It is in Google Slides, sir.
On the Google slide, you are on the Google slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, in the Google slide, where we have to go, sir, for presentation?
I am just checking. Wait, I'm just checking.
Add connect to it. Yes, it's okay, sir, now. It is okay, sir, now.
You are able to see?
Yeah,
You are able to see?
Yes, sir. It is now okay, sir.
But we are not able to see.
Okay. Okay. Now okay, sir. Okay. It's taking time after sharing.
Yes, something is popping up.
Yeah,
Yes, something is popping up. Yes, okay, I can see this. And yeah, only change the slides when I say to change the slides, and do anything. Yeah, that's great. I see that some fonts have changed and all those things. I'm worried how exactly it is gonna look. Anyways, thank you very much once again to Government City College, especially Dr. Nagaraju, as well as EPTRI and Mohammed Sharif from EPTRI and all the other colleagues who have joined. I see most of the teachers are there and some students are also there. I'm not aware what is the participation, but I have been told that the link has been shared wide, and we are expecting many people from many different diverse backgrounds joining this particular webinar. The day is very, very important. Biodiversity, in my personal opinion, should be celebrated every day. But internationally, an International Biodiversity Day has been recognized, and today happens to be that particular day. And this is the day when all the people who are working in the field of biological diversity conservation and all such kind of things, we share our thoughts, we share our knowledge, we share about what we know, the concerns about biodiversity, the threats that are impacting biodiversity, and how we can conserve, how a common man can be informed about biological diversity, and how we can encourage the common man also to do their little bit in conservation of biological diversity. So I've been asked to just talk about biological diversity and how each and every one of us can get involved in documentation of biodiversity, how much we know about biodiversity and all such kind of things. So we have wonderful diversity all around us. I am not going to be repetitive in saying that biological diversity would what do you say, what exactly comprises the biological diversity and why these things. But very briefly, Professor Wilson gave the definition, the first definition of biological diversity, biodiversity as we know about. But in common understanding, in common parlance, it includes all the living organisms and the variety of living organisms that we come across on this earth. So we have to, when we start thinking about biological diversity, we also have to start to think about, is life occurring anywhere else other than this particular planet called Earth? And the simplest answer is no. We do not have any information, any evidence of life existing elsewhere other than planet Earth. There are many schools of thoughts that talk about life being there and all, etc., but it is all debatable. As long as we are knowing in the form of understanding of living organisms, the diversity that we see among the living organisms, which the planet Earth, as no other planet or no other entity in this universe, galaxy, or whatever you want to call, has the capability. Thus, it becomes very, very important for us to understand what are the impacts of our activity, human activity, on biological diversity, how we are negatively impacting the biodiversity, and how our actions are leading to extinction of biodiversity. One of the important things that we have to think about when we talk about biodiversity and conservation, they are the two faces of the same coin, because once you understand biodiversity, only then you would be able to do conservation action. If you don't understand biodiversity, conservation means nothing. And when you understand what is the importance of each and every living organism, then you start taking conservation very, very seriously. So it is very, very important that on this particular day we learn how to look outside, how to look at all the living organisms along with whom we share this earth, and appreciate what they are doing to us in our being alive, in supporting our species continue to be there on this earth, and then also start to see on the negative side that how our actions have impacted the biological diversity, and how species are becoming impacted or species are becoming extinct, and what long-term impact such extinctions would bring on us. So all these things are some of the reasons why it becomes very, very important that not only scientists who are working in the biological diversity conservation field, but also everybody who is alive and who is understanding the linkage between living organisms need to take these things seriously. And that's the background of why we celebrate International Biodiversity Day. We celebrate the biodiversity all around us. We do these kind of activities where we are creating awareness about biological diversity and all such kind of things. In my personal opinion, every living organism, every human being, despite being from whatever background of education, or be it illiterate also, they have to understand the importance of biodiversity. They have to understand the importance of all the other living organisms with whom we are sharing the earth. That's the reason why in India, in the ancient times, we used to say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We were not just speaking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That doesn't mean that persons from America or persons from Australia and all other places are my own brothers and sisters and all such kind of things. But we have to start to think, when we say Vasudhaiva, that means all the entity, all the living organisms on this particular earth, all of them are part of my family, and I as an individual should be taking care of each and every member of my family. So my talk would be all about what we know about biological diversity in Telangana state, and little bit of background that I would like to give is, since past almost about 30 years we have been documenting the biodiversity in earlier United Andhra Pradesh, now focusing only on Telangana. And we had been maintaining the biological diversity database for not only our own understanding, but also for many people who can access this database and see what biological diversity we have in our state. Our state is a landlocked state. We are blessed with wonderful forests and all such kind of things, but at the same time we are also challenged with lack of oceanic ecosystem. Being landlocked and being in the heart of the Deccan Peninsula, in the Deccan Trap, we are literally kind of many a times we start to think that we are biodiversity poor state and all such kind of things. But we have at least more than 5,000 species of flora and fauna that we have documented. I'm not talking about viral strains, bacterial strains, algae, and all such kind of things. I'm talking about the angiosperms, the flora, the plants that we are able to identify, we are able to see and recognize them, and many of the faunal elements that include all the vertebrates and many invertebrates. And again, in invertebrates, we have lots of data gaps. So lot of things needs to be done, but we are good. We are doing all these things, and we are creating a database since past 30 years, which can be accessed from the Center of Biodiversity website. That is from where we maintain the database, and this database is used for the Telangana government also, because many a times we do a lot of reporting and all such kind of things. So that's our basic kind of, what you say, responsibility that we have in this particular center. And as the director of this particular center, we do this work. So the biological diversity, you can change. I believe that my part is, all the members have already read. Right. Just keep it in the vegetation types. Last slide.
Yes, sir.
So we know. Yeah. Thank you. We know that the living organisms, especially from the point of view of faunal elements and floral diversity and all those things, are mostly doing good in our forested ecosystems, and that's the reason why we are brought in to understand the kind of forest types that we are having in Telangana. And we are having grasslands, we are having savannas, we are having riparian forest ecosystems that occur along with large river systems. In the smaller rivers also, we have wonderful forests that are unique to that particular ecosystem. Being dry deciduous area, we have dominance of dry deciduous forests and thorn forests, and these thorn forests and thorn scrubland areas are quite widespread in Telangana, and in some parts of Telangana we have moist deciduous forests. So all this type of vegetational diversity amounts for what we are having in Telangana. So can you go to the next slide? So we'll try to understand how many different types of flora and fauna we are aware of, and what exactly we can do about all these things. Those of you who are interested in flora, you can take up information from flora side, and those of you who are interested in fauna, you can take up information from the faunal side. Next slide, please. The floral diversity, although Telangana came into existence in 2014, but since quite a long time, right, during the Hyderabad state, the existence of Hyderabad state, during that time onwards, we have been documenting our floral diversity, and we see that the first of the studies was done in 1849 in two districts. One is in Daulatabad, which is currently in Maharashtra, and the one was in Warangal, which is presently in our Telangana. And then later we started to see that there were many people who were working on documentation of flora in many different districts as such, and many theses have come out. Osmania University, Kakatiya University, Botany departments have done a lot of works, not only our own people from here, but also people who were active in United Andhra Pradesh were also very, very instrumental in documenting the floral diversity in the present day Telangana regions. So can you go to the next slide, please? When we are looking at what are the different flora that has been done over various time frame, we see that the right from 1991 or 1973, wherein Professor Rajagopal from Botany department has done his PhD on flora of Hyderabad, and we are very proud that that was the first seminal work that was done in documenting Hyderabad flora in a very systematic manner. And after that, we started to see a very wonderful works that has been done, and lot of different numbers of species and subspecies have been reported from various different districts, and all these are available as district flora documentation. Books are available, reports are available, and all such kind of things. It's just to make you aware that there are many sources from where we can try to look at what people have already recorded in the past and whether or not those species still occur in those areas or not. Future researchers have to take these things into account and do research to find out species that has been reported in the past, whether they are still occurring or not, and all such kind of things. Next slide, please. So as of now, this number is fluid. As of now, what we know is there are more than 2,100 odd species of the flora that occurs in Telangana state. As I told you, we are not, this thing consists only of angiosperms. We are not talking about any other groups. So among the angiosperms, we are having so much of diversity. So we have almost about 1,553 species of dicotyledons and 560 species of monocotyledons. And there are many genera that have more than 10 species. We have recorded, the analysis has shown that there are at least 17 genera that have more than 10 species. And there are at least 564 genera that are represented by single species. From the taxonomy point of view, it all becomes very important, because we are trying to understand how much of diversity each of these genera or genus has. Is it only single species, or it is multiple species, or it is species complex, and all such kind of things. But interestingly, we see that the monocotyledon or Liliopsidae genus called cypress, which is a grass species, is the largest species genus that has as many as 30 species recorded from Telangana. And another interesting thing is acacia. We have almost about 16 different types of acacia, or ficus for that matter of fact. 17 species of ficus that we have reported from Telangana state. Next slide, please. Now, when we are looking, this slide just is to help us understand what is the diversity with respect to the orders, families, and species. As I told you, the numbers are very fluid. The numbers are changing every year, every month, every day. We are getting new information, new updates, taxonomic changes happening, and all those things. And we are trying to keep as recent as possible with respect to the data, and the data gets updated on a regular basis. Next slide, please. So there are some endemic taxa. I'm not calling them as species or subspecies and all such kind of things, because many of us know that some of them have been accepted as a complete species, and some of them has been not accepted as a species, but subspecies level they have accepted, or variety they have accepted, or sometimes whatever we have reported as species or subspecies has been subsumed under a very widespread species. So all such changes are happening. That's the reason why I do not call them as 5 endemic species as such. I am calling them as taxa for a reason. Taxonomically, these are now varied. From Telangana point of view, I would be very proudly saying that, okay, these are the species that we have in Telangana, but sometimes taxonomists working at the global scale do not accept these kind of things, and some of them have subsumed under common species that are widespread and all such kind of things. But basically, Blumia manilaliana, Habenaria ramayana, Pygia vatsavai, Ladaboria hyderabadensis, and Pakistalma anantagiriense are some of the species that we think that they are occurring only in this particular region of the world. Next slide, please. And there are and there are some more species. Many of you who are in taxonomy, you might be wondering why I am not mentioning these species and all such kind of things. There are many of more species that we have, recorded from our region, but we also, as I told you, that they are under taxonomic ambiguity. People are still working on that, whether to accept it as a distinct species, varieties, species, etc., etc. But we are looking at, for example, I'll give you Alicicarpus nagarensis is now under synonymy of Alicicarpus monellifer. As a taxonomist, for me, I would accept monellifer as a species, which is a widespread species. But as a Telangana, I would say no. Alicicarpus nagarensis should be accepted as a distinct species. I leave it to people who use the database and all such kind of things, but we have to understand that taxonomy, a lot of changes are happening. In taxonomy, we are also bringing in genetic analysis and all such kind of things, and based on all such kind of things, there is a lot of change that is happening at the global scale. And at the global scale, whatever is happening, it is always good that we accept it at our Indian scale as well as at our state level scale, so that we are on a common platform, rather than having so much of confusion that, what is our endemic, what is this status of this subspecies, etc., etc. Yeah, next slide, please. So what we have done in 2017, a few years back, almost about 9 years back, is we have done the regional assessment of the flora and fauna that we have in Telangana. And as a part of that particular assessment, we found out that there are at least 56 species of angiosperms that are threatened in Telangana. And of these 56 species, 7 taxa are endemic, and then 30 species are endemic to India. So many of the Indian endemics that occur in Telangana are threatened. That is what I am trying to tell. Next slide, please. Yep. This is just to show that, in which districts the threatened species are found. And if you can pay attention, in some of the districts where you have large number of threatened species, these are the districts that are close to the forest ranges, where you have good forest diversity, etc., etc. You would be seeing, more number of floral diversity, naturally more number of threatened flora also occurring in such kind of ecosystems. Next slide, please. So when we have seen what exactly are these 56 species, how they are threatened and all those things, from the IUCN point of view, criteria point of view, we have categorized the threatened species, as IUCN does, into vulnerable, endangered and critically endangered. And we found that 42.85 or 43% out of these 56 species are vulnerable. That means that they are doing okay, but they are threatened because of the local threats, and they might become extinct in the next 3 generations, or maybe in next 10 to 12 years if the threats continue to exist on them. Similarly, we have found out that as many as 18 species are endangered. That gives a time window of 5 years. If the threats continue to exist as it is in now, in the next 5 years, they are going to become extinct. And critically endangered is like, in another 2-3 years, they are going to become extinct. That is a very, very kind of, rough understanding of what exactly these flagging means. So it also helps the governments or the institutions or the people who are working on these organisms. They can say that, we'll focus more on those 14 species first, then 24 species or rest of the species that are not threatened. So it becomes very, very important for us to keep in mind the threat category of the species and then try to work to conserve these threatened species of flora. Subsequently, I'll also talk about fauna. Next slide, please. So you might be wondering that, when we say what are the threats, there are many different types of threats. And for the flora, we have seen that habitat loss, I would say, rather than generally saying habitat loss, decline in habitat quality and quantity. Quality is how the habitats are there, but if at all they are, overtaken by alien species, or is polluted, or is being impacted because of certain kind of, development that is happening nearby, the habitat quality is going, right? So the habitat loss is something which is very, very important for these species. We see that as many as 50 species have been impacted by habitat loss of the 56 species that are threatened. Then some of the species are impacted because of collection for medicinal purposes. Some of these species are impacted because of livestock grazing. A simple thing like, my cattle used to go into the forest, what is wrong, and all such kind of things. But they also have negative impact on my plant species diversity. There is one more interesting thing, feeding by wild pig. It has come out as a very, very interesting, threat in the wilderness, or maybe in the areas that are next to the agriculture fields and all those things. There were a lot of wild pigs that occur, and they are detrimental in continuous growth or good growth of certain tuberous plants and all such kind of things. So there are many threats. You can just go through these threats very quickly. You can read these threats and then start thinking that, how we can mitigate these threats to see and ensure that all these organisms continue to survive. Next slide, please. So we'll now get into the faunal diversity, and next slide. We'll start with fishes. There are almost about, before going to fishes, I'll just say that almost about 800 odd species of vertebrates have been reported from Telangana. We are still working on that. As I told you, there are many things that needs to be done and all such kind of things. Whatever best knowledge we are having about the species that occurs, we have compiled them together and created a database. According to that, there are 145 species of fishes, 17 species of amphibians, 83 species of reptiles, about 500 species of birds, 75 species of mammals. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide. Now let's understand about fishes. There are 3 species of endemic fishes that are reported from Telangana, and these 3 species are Rita bakalu, then Indorionectus telanganaensis, and Indorionectus amravadi. Amravadi has been reported very recently, and I'm sorry that I did not update this particular slide. But there are 3 species of endemic fishes that occur in Telangana. One of them has been discovered. 2 of them has been discovered in Godavari River area, river basin. Telanganaensis and Rita bakalu comes from that area, and Indorionectus amravad comes from Krishna River basin. Right. Next slide, please. Okay. So we have found that there are about 12 species out of 145 species that are threatened with extinction. Of which 8 species are endemic and 3 species are endemic to Telangana state. 8 species are endemic to India. Next slide. So once again, just to show that, we are looking at the species diversity in different districts, and those of you who are belonging to certain districts, you can pay attention and say that, your district has more number of threatened species of fish or less number of threatened species of fish. Next slide. So the 11 species that we have done out of the 14 species of threatened fish, 11 species we have categorized, and we see that there is 1 species which is critically endangered, 2 species that are endangered, 5 species that are vulnerable, and 3 species that are data deficient. Data deficient is not a threat category seriously as IUCN thinks, but data deficient are the species that future researchers, future scientists, future people, students who are interested in doing research and all those things can take up, work on data deficient and understand their ecology, their biology, their distribution and all such kind of things. Data deficient simply means that we do not have any information other than the fact that they have been described and known to science, right? No information exists on these particular species. That's the reason why it becomes, from research point of view, from academic point of view, it becomes very, very important that we also know what species are data deficient and why we should study them, because you would be adding knowledge on those organisms. Next slide, please. As is the trend, we started to look at what are the different trends. Okay, somebody else is speaking. Okay, we found that the introduction of major carps, fishery activities, or alien species.
Hello, please mute yourself. Don't disturb others.
One small request to all the participants to kindly mute your mics so that it will not interrupt the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the threats include introduction of major carp or as well as alien species, overfishing in many localities, and local consumption. We are not only just overfishing for commercial gains, but also local consumption, because the people do not know the importance. They do not know whether this species occurs only in this particular stream or in this particular area and all such kind of things. Lack of awareness is also one of the threats, but we have to work on all these things. These are the biological threats that are impacting the fishes in Telangana. Next slide, please. We will move to the next group of faunal diversity, that is amphibians. And the amphibians, we are aware of, there are 17 species of amphibians. Next slide, please. And these 17 species of amphibians are very few. In fact, it is very sorry to state that we do not document the amphibians very, very clearly. Most of the students are not very much interested in documenting amphibians and all such kind of things. But I request any of you who are interested in documenting amphibians, please do that. As soon as the rainy season starts, they come out, they are croaking, they are advertising themselves. You go take photograph. I'll tell you later that how you can contribute and all such kind of things. Compared to our neighboring states where we have minimum of 30-35 species of amphibians, Telangana has only 17 species of amphibians. It is a classic case of poor documentation. So we need more and more people documenting these things. In fact, you would be surprised that all the 17 species, when we started the work, the latest information was 8 species, and we added 9 more species in only 1 year of observation. But due to many reasons, we are not able to continue observations making on amphibians especially. So I would request those of you who are interested, you can get in touch with me, learn about these things, how you can document and all such kind of things. We need more people to document, because I and my team are limited, and we need more eyes who can do these kind of activities. There is only one species of amphibian that we have categorized as threatened, and this species is endemic to India, but it's not endemic to Telangana. Next slide, please. So this particular species occurs in these districts. In fact, we have very recently also found it in the Yadadri district also. So that will also come up, but very few districts it is found. Next slide, please. So that particular species, we have seen the photograph, and this is the original drawing, is called as Datathrynus olulius, and it is among the data deficient species. Next slide, please. The threats that are, in fact, I believe the next slide would be the threats. The threats that are impacting the amphibians are also the threats that are impacting our fishes or fish diversity or aquatic vertebrate and invertebrate diversity, and that is water pollution of our water bodies. Or it's a very, very serious threat. Can you go to the next slide? And when we are looking at the threats, we find that for amphibians, the water pollution or aquatic body pollution is the major threat. So there are about 81 species of reptiles in Telangana. These reptiles include crocodiles, tortoises and turtles, and we have lizards and we have snakes. Next slide, please. There are some unique species of lizards and other species that are found in Telangana. I'll talk about all those things later. But we have seen that of 85 species, there are 36 species that are threatened with extinction. And the largest group is that of snakes that belong to family Colibri. There are, of the 36 species, 14 species are endemic to India, and there are 3 species of lizards that are endemic to Telangana. We know them only from Telangana. No other states we have recorded them so far. Next slide. And these are this particular lizard, which is called as Flavipodus, yellow-tailed rock lizard. Next slide. Another lizard which is called as Xeripolis. These are the lizards. These 2 lizards have been reported from Mahbubnagar district and Nalgonda district. Before the district was divided, they were collected, but basically from Nagar Karnool district and from Mahbubnagar district. So these are the 2 districts. Lajmi and her colleagues have discovered this. Next slide, please. And the third species has been described by our team, my PhD scholar and myself. We have discovered this and described it from Mahbubnagar and Nagar Karnool, as well as it also occurs in the Nalgonda district. Next slide, please. These are the different districts from where we have seen more number of threatened species. Interestingly, if you can see, Medchal, Malkajgiri and Hyderabad would show more number of threatened species, because the many of these snakes and many of these lizards are human commensals. That means that they live along with or within the human dwellings and all those things. And again, habitat change, although we think that they are adapted, but there are a lot of negative impacts on this particular species. When we see the threats, then we'll understand. Next slide, please. So when we have tried to understand how many of them are vulnerable, we found out that 70%, nearly 70% of these species are vulnerable. 3% of them are, 3 species are endangered and 9 species are critically endangered. So almost a quarter of the known reptiles in Telangana are critically kind of endangered. So we need to be very, very careful about these species. Next slide, please. So again, we have looked at the threats. What are the different threats that impact? Can you just go back, Nagaraj?
Yes, sure.
Just go back. Back. Yeah, thank you. So here we have habitat loss and fragmentation also being the biggest problem. As many as 14 species are impacted by this. Then there are many species that are being traded. That means they are illegally sold in the market, pet trade market and all those things. There are many species that are impacted by stone quarrying activity or mining activity. There are many species that are impacted by encroachment by human beings. And interestingly, there are at least 5 species that are impacted by killing, because when we look at reptiles, we see lizards and snakes. And snakes, nobody kind of, many human don't like snakes. The first reaction when they see the snake is without even thinking whether it is a venomous or non-venomous snake and all such kind of things. First reaction is kill it. So many species are also threatened because of, apathy from human beings, unwanted or uh, not needed kind of killing. We can do away with killing and all those things. And there are at least 4 species that are impacted by pollution of water bodies. As I told you about, amphibians and fishes, pollution of water bodies also are impacting the organisms that reptiles that are dependent on water bodies and all such kind of things. You can see there is one species which is impacted by vehicular traffic, road kills. When we go on the roads and there is a species that reptile that is crossing, we don't even stop, we don't even care, we just run over it, and we are creating a lot of problems there, right? So next slide. We will go into the birds section, and in the birds section we have seen that as many as 500 species of birds are reported from Telangana. Interestingly, there are some birds that were reported in the ancient time, but they have become extinct now. Next slide, please. One of the best examples is that of Jordan's corsair, which has not been seen for almost about 150 years. But very recently, in the past 30 years, we have lost this particular bird, which is called as Great Indian Bustard. The Great Indian Bustard used to occur in the grassland areas or chelka areas of our Vikarabad, current Vikarabad district, Rangareddy district, even in Mahbub Nagar district, along River Krishna, the grasslands were occurring, and we have reports of this particular bird from there. But today, since past 30-35 years, this bird has not been reported from Telangana. So we call them as regionally extinct species. Next slide, please. Did it change? Yeah. So there are about 23 species out of 500 odd species that are threatened in Telangana, and we see that most of them are in the group that belongs or that includes eagles, crows, not crows, eagles, kites, and vultures. So almost many species of vultures were found in Telangana, and all of them have become extinct, locally extinct from Telangana. There is one species that is endemic to India, and we do not have any bird species that is endemic to Telangana. Next slide, please. So these are again the distribution of threatened species in different districts of Telangana, and we see that the districts that have bigger forest chunks and districts that are properly documented, good surveys have been done and all those things. In those districts, we have large number of threatened species that are occurring in these kind of districts. There are few districts where we do not have lot of information, lot of surveys needs to be done. Youngsters who are interested in doing surveys, kindly note down those districts, and if you belong to those districts, start working. Maybe in next 5 years, you will start to see a lot of information coming from that particular district, thanks to you doing research over there. Next slide, please. What are the different distribution? That we see that there are 3 species that are regionally extinct, 2 species that are critically endangered, 6 species that are endangered, 11 species that are vulnerable, and 1 species that is data deficient. Very, very important over here, because birds are cross-boundary kind of species and all such kind of things, and all the states have to work together to conserve these animals, birds. I would just like to give you an example that we used to have only last breeding colony of vultures in 1993-95 when we published a paper. We have found vultures of at least 6 and 7 different species occurring in all the 23 districts of United Andhra Pradesh. We have found them everywhere, and we were very happy in reporting that. But at the same time, we reported that in past 2 years of research that we were doing, we found some populations were declining, and we in that paper we mentioned that there's something needs to be done to take care of vulture populations in many different areas. We predicted that they are declining, and by 1997-99, Government of India has come out with a publication and report saying that 99% of the vulture populations throughout India has declined in last 5 years. So what we were observing and what Government of India in 5 years has reported is something which became very, very important for every one of us to start thinking that why certain species are becoming locally extinct, what are the reasons and all such kind of things. So we used to have one species of vulture until very recently. Now also we claim that that vulture occurs in Telangana, but the last individual has stopped breeding in Telangana. So they are breeding wonderfully well in Maharashtra as well as in Chhattisgarh. But in our place, in Komram, Beam, Sirpur, Kagasnagar area, on the Palarati Gutta area, we used to have a breeding colony. Now the breeding has stopped since past 5 years or so. So that is something which is very, very important. Why am I telling you this? Is the reason that birds, animals, and all those things, they don't look at borders as such. For them, it is not like I will not breed in Telangana. It's like in this area of the forest, they are not getting so much of resources that is needed for them to survive. So we have to start to think in that manner and start protecting our habitats and all such kind of things. Next slide, please. So we see that, habitat loss and fragmentation again is one of the most important threat. We have seen that almost all the groups of flora and fauna that we have seen so far, habitat change, habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, change or decline in the habitat quality, all these things are very, very common. They are the topmost reason for the threats to continue, and they are threatening our ecosystem, not only our ecosystem but also the flora and fauna that are living in those ecosystems. Another important thing that you can see over here is agriculture expansion, how we are changing the land use pattern, how grasslands and scrub lands are converted into either real estate development or into forestry plantation. So both of them are very, very bad. You are going on either extremes. See, if I am a species that is adapted to scrubland areas, I would require scrubland areas. You cannot change that scrubland area and make it into forest and say you live in this. I'm not a forest species, I will not live in that area, so I'll get impacted. All such kind of things are very, very important. We need to understand these threats very, very carefully and see that how they impact our species. Next slide, please. I think we are getting into our mammals. So there are 75 species of mammals. Can you please go to the next slide? There are 75 species of mammals, and mammals include very, very different types of mammals that we come across. In fact, on this slide, you can see there are two very unique mammals. Many of us get confused with these kind of mammals. We might have seen this, those of us who live near forest, who live in, say, Adilabad district or maybe Nirmal. We also have seen it in Chennaram and other places. And the cat, many of us confuse it with common cat and all those things. In fact, it is India's smallest cat, which has become so common. When we saw it for the first time way back in 1996-97, we saw a dead cat on road in Nalamala Hills. But today we are seeing this cat everywhere. So is it expanding in its range, or is it becoming more common, or is it becoming habituated to human disturbance and all such kind of things? lot of study needs to be done, but very interesting things are happening in our forests, in our habitats, and all such kind of things. Next slide, please. In fact, these are endemic mammals of India, and they also occur in Telangana. So these, there are almost about 22 species that belong to 13 families that are threatened with extinction. 4 species are endemic to India, as just told you. None of these species are endemic to Telangana. Next slide, please. So once again, the mammal distribution is again restricted to areas where you have good forests or where good surveys have been done. For example, in and around Hyderabad, in Nagaraju district, and in Mechal Malkajgiri district also, you have good diversity because we have documented non-forest dwelling mammals. Whereas in other areas, non-forest dwelling mammals are not well documented, and that's the reason why we have some gaps and all those things. So every one of us can, start documenting these things and contribute to the knowledge database that we are having. Next slide, please. We see in the next slide, we see that, there are 82% of the 22 species that were assessed as threatened being vulnerable, and 4 species are endangered. Luckily, we do not have any critically endangered mammal in Telangana. So that means that we are doing okay. And all these threatened mammals occur in forested tracts, protected area network. And within the protected area network, there are certain problems, certain threats that are still existing because there are seldom any protected area network or protected areas that are not disturbed by human beings. We have a lot of problems there also. Maybe some other time when I come, I'll speak about all those things. But basically, we have to keep in mind that our protected areas are also not that safe for flora and fauna because a lot of human impact or anthropogenic impacts are happening in or continuing to happen in the protected areas. Next slide, please. So once again, if we are trying to analyze the threats, then we start to see that as many as 18 species are impacted by habitat loss and fragmentation, and then change in land use pattern and encroachment. Hunting and poaching is also one of the biggest threats. Killing due to human-animal conflict. Many a times we have read about these things, even in fact on television, news. Also, you might have seen that how people barbarically kill the animals that come into their villages and all such kind of things. We have to remember that they are not coming into our villages. Our villages have expanded into their territory. That is what we have to remember, and that's the reason why we are getting more and more of human-animal interactions, human-wildlife interactions that are happening. So humanity has to start to think that what impact we are having on wild animals, wild habitats, etc., etc. Next slide, please. I believe that brings us to the end of our presentation, mostly for a reason that the idea about plants and the idea about vertebrates, we have wonderful ideas. As far as the invertebrates are concerned, once again, we have very, very limited ideas. I will give you one example that we have there are reports, published reports that report 97 species of moths from Telangana, which is very, very less. In fact, our students have worked in my campus, Osmania University campus, and we have 130 plus moths right here in the campus. So there are more number of species that are known that might be occurring than what we are really knowing. So all these groups of organisms that you are seeing are just a tentative numbers that we have published reports about, and we do not have deeper knowledge. About 500 species of invertebrates is a joke in my opinion. But anyways, the published information tells us that only this much is there. So we have to start with that reality. Next slide. we have to start with that reality and start understanding that there is a lot of data gap that is existing. There is a lot of knowledge gap that is existing with respect to flora and fauna. And you and I, as people who are interested in biodiversity, you sitting over here listening to me for the past almost about 50 minutes, that simply shows us that you and I are interested in biological diversity and how you and I can contribute to the biological diversity, documentation, conservation, understanding the threats, etc., etc. So many a times what happens is, I believe the last slide is thank you slide. I'll just keep this slide so that those of you who are interested, you can write down my email and my phone number. You can get in touch with me later. But what you need to understand is that unless and until all of us put our time together, put our efforts together to document the biological diversity that we have in Telangana, it is not possible for Telangana to really rise and shine. Because see, we cannot just say that we are doing wonderful things with respect to infrastructure development, wonderful things with respect to setting up new colleges, setting up new things and all such kind of things, but also we are doing good in documenting our natural resources, natural biological diversity that we have. So for that, we are wanting all of you to get involved with us, all of you to start documenting species and all such kind of things, and contribute to the database that we are maintaining for Telangana. So the question would be, how would I, as an individual, contribute? And many of you might be sitting over here listening to me and listening to my request. So you can contribute to the biological diversity documentation through very simply taking photograph and then uploading it into iNaturalist database. I don't know how many of you are using the iNaturalist database, or how many of you are participating in various activities that various colleges and various NGOs do in documenting biological diversity and all those things. But what you can do is you can get involved by voluntarily coming forward, taking photographs of different species that you come across in your recess time, or maybe during when you walk from your home to college, or from bus stop to college, etc., or in your college campus itself. Take photographs and upload it into iNaturalist. You don't have to be a taxonomist. You don't have to be, identifying, be an expert in identification and all such kind of things. Just go to iNaturalist app. Those of you who are paying attention, please download iNaturalist app. iNaturalist app onto your mobile phones. It's free of cost. Download it. Log into that using your Gmail account. Everyone has Gmail account. You log into that and then start uploading your data into this. You would be asked, one thing that I would request you is, put it in a project called Biodiversity of Telangana State, BOTS, Biodiversity of Telangana State. It will ask you to join iNaturalist in a project. Join it in a project called Biodiversity of Telangana State and kindly upload it right over there. I would also request that you can note down, I don't know whether I can type in, I'm just typing in a website. You can visit this website. This is, oh, I'm sorry, I missed. Oh,
The text message.
yeah, I have corrected it. Yeah, I have sent it. I have corrected it. I have edited it.
Okay.
So this website you visit and you see on the first home page itself, you can add your observation. You can contribute there. So whatever you are going to upload onto iNaturalist, it would be getting into the Biodiversity of Telangana State database, and from there If you have not identified also, there will be so many experts who are there on iNaturalist. They will help you in identifying, and from there you will learn. Okay, say a day before when you took the photograph, you don't know how to identify it, or you don't know the name of that particular species, but put it onto the iNaturalist. Maybe in a week's time, a name would be attached to it. Then you will learn, oh my God, this snake is called this, or this bird is called this, or this plant is called this. Wonderful. That is how you learn, right? So you please get involved. That is what my request is, and my appeal is, for a reason that we are very small group of researchers who are sitting in Osmania University, who are trying to document the biological diversity that we have in Telangana, and it becomes every citizen's or every person who is interested in biodiversity, they should take.
Hello. 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 Hello, sir. Sir, is it audible? Your voice is not. Hello. Hello, sir. Voice is not audible. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Why it is interrupted? సార్ ఏమైంది సార్? హలో సార్, స్వామి సార్ పంపనన్నది పబ్లికేషన్ ఉన్నది అని అన్నాడు. పబ్లిష్ చేయలేదు. ఇస్తా. ఇది నాది వాయిస్ పోయింది నా దగ్గర. నా దగ్గర వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదు నాకు. అది రన్నింగ్ లోనే ఉందా సార్ది? లేదు, నేను ఎందుకు ఎగ్జిట్ అయినా అదే నాకు అర్థం కాదు. అవునా? లేదు, కాల్ వేరే వైఫై కదా. అదే అన్మ్యూట్లో ఉంది. మ్యూట్ చేస్తే రావట్లే. ఈ షేరింగ్ కొట్టాను, షేరింగ్ లోనే తిరుగుతూ ఉంది ఇది. మళ్ళీ షేరింగ్ మొబైల్ కాదు, ల్యాప్టాప్ వేరు, ఇది మొబైల్ వేరు. కాదు, ఇక్కడ నాకు అది మ్యూట్ రావట్లేదు. అదే అదే యాక్చువల్గా నేను స్పీకర్ క్లిక్ చేస్తే రావాలి కదా, ఇది స్లో అయిపోయింది. అది సార్ అయిపోయిందా? అదేమి చూపించారు నాకు ఇక్కడ. స్పీకర్ వీడియో రెండే ఎక్కిందా? రెండే ఎక్కిందా? ఈ పక్కన ఆడియన్స్ కూడా కనపడట్లేదు నాకు. అవునా? ఫోన్ దానికి ఏం లేదు. ఫోన్ వేరే, అది వేరే. లేదు.